Have you ever had one of those evenings where everything feels perfectly normal? Maybe you enjoyed a quiet dinner, watched a little TV, and climbed into bed without a second thought. The house is calm. You're warm, comfortable, and looking forward to a peaceful night's sleep. But then you wake up to heartbreaking news. Someone you know, someone just like you, didn't wake up at all. Last night, a 72-year-old man passed away in his sleep. No warning signs, no long illness, just gone. His family is still in shock. He seemed healthy the day before, laughing, chatting, moving around like any other day. But something happened during the night, and it makes you wonder, what went wrong? Could it have been prevented? That question weighs heavy. And the truth is, while aging comes with its own mysteries, there are bedtime habits that, although they might seem harmless, can quietly increase the risk of serious issues like strokes, heart attacks, and even sudden death. Especially after the age of 70, when our bodies become more sensitive, slower to recover, and less forgiving of what we once took for granted. You might be surprised to hear this, but some of the routines you've kept for years, maybe even most of your life, could be putting you at risk. And the worst part? Most people have no idea. That's why we need to talk about this. Not to scare you, but to empower you. Tonight, I want to have an honest, caring conversation with you. We're going to go over 4 nighttime habits that everyone over 70 should rethink. They're small things, really. But they can have a huge impact on how well you sleep, how your heart performs, and how you feel in the morning. And if we can help just one person avoid a tragedy like the one that happened last night, then this conversation is worth having. Let's take a moment and really think about the first one, because it's something so many people do without even realizing the harm. Have you ever sat down for a late-night meal and thought, "It's fine, I'll just go to bed after this"? Maybe it's a bowl of leftover stew, a plate of noodles, or even just a snack because dinner felt too early. It feels comforting, even familiar. But after 70, eating too close to bedtime can quietly strain your body in ways you might not expect. Here's the thing. When we were younger, we could get away with a late dinner or a midnight snack. Our digestion was fast, our metabolism was forgiving. But as we age, everything slows down. The stomach processes food more slowly, the muscles that control digestion don't work as efficiently, and it takes longer for the body to settle after a meal. That means instead of slipping into a restful sleep, your body is still hard at work, breaking down food, producing acid, keeping your heart rate elevated. That's not rest. That's work. And if you've ever woken up in the middle of the night with heartburn, a strange tightness in your chest, or even just a racing heart, there's a good chance your late-night eating habit is playing a role. It's not just about comfort, it's about risk. When digestion continues during sleep, stomach acid can rise up into the esophagus. That not only disrupts your sleep with choking sensations or coughing fits, but it also raises your blood pressure and heart rate, at the very time they should be dropping. Over time, this increases the risk of nighttime heart attacks and strokes, especially for people with high blood pressure or a history of heart issues. There's another danger, too, one that often goes unnoticed. When acid reflux becomes chronic, it can cause something called aspiration. That's when stomach acid or food particles sneak into the lungs, leading to serious infections like aspiration pneumonia. For younger people, it's uncomfortable. For seniors, it can be deadly. And if you're someone living with diabetes or prediabetes, eating late can cause your blood sugar to rise overnight. That means poor glucose control, restless sleep, and long-term damage to your heart and nerves. All from something as simple as when you choose to eat dinner. But here's the good news. This is something you can change. And it's easier than you might think. Try to finish your last meal of the day about 3 or 4 hours before you plan to go to bed. That gives your body enough time to digest food properly while you're still awake and active. If you feel hungry before bed, choose something light, a small banana, a handful of almonds, or even just a warm cup of chamomile tea. These won't overload your system, but they can help you sleep more soundly. Now, I want you to imagine what your nights could feel like with this one change. You finish dinner earlier, relax in the evening, and go to bed with a settled stomach. No more acid creeping up your throat. No more waking up with that uncomfortable heaviness in your chest. Just deep, uninterrupted sleep, the kind your heart and brain truly need to restore and repair. It's such a simple shift, but it can bring you so much peace, and your body will thank you for it. Now, while we're talking about what goes into your body before bed, there's something else I want you to think about. Something most people associate with good health: hydration. We're always told to drink more water, right? And yes, staying hydrated is crucial, especially as we get older. But here's the catch. Drinking too much liquid late in the evening might actually be making your nights harder and more dangerous. You might recognize this. You're sleeping soundly, then all of a sudden, you wake up with an urgent need to go to the bathroom. You get out of bed quickly, maybe in the dark, and feel a bit dizzy or unsteady. That sudden lightheadedness isn't just annoying, it's risky. As we age, the bladder becomes more sensitive, and the muscles that control it aren't as strong as they used to be. The kidneys also keep filtering fluids at night, so any extra drink from the evening is likely to wake you up. It's called nocturia, frequent nighttime urination. And it's more than just a sleep disturbance. What many don't realize is that getting out of bed in the middle of the night, especially in a hurry, can lead to something called postural hypotension. That's a sudden drop in blood pressure when you stand up too quickly. It can cause fainting, falls, and serious injuries. For someone in their 70s or 80s, one bad fall can change everything. And there's more. Every time you wake up, turn on a light, or walk to the bathroom, your brain thinks morning is coming. It resets your internal clock, messes with melatonin, and keeps you from getting the deep, healing sleep your body truly needs. Over time, this poor sleep can weaken your immune system, raise your blood pressure, and even affect your memory. Now, this doesn't mean you should stop drinking water altogether, but it's about timing. Start hydrating earlier in the day. Sip water regularly in the morning and early afternoon, then begin to taper off after dinner. If you're thirsty in the evening, just take small sips. And if you're drinking tea, choose herbal and caffeine-free options. Avoid anything that might act as a diuretic, like black tea or coffee after 3 or 4 p.m. It might feel like a small change, but imagine being able to sleep through the night without interruptions. No more fumbling in the dark. No more grogginess from broken sleep. Just a full night of rest, uninterrupted and safe. We've talked about 2 powerful habits so far. One involves what and when you eat. The other, how you manage your fluids in the evening. Both of these can silently shape the quality of your nights and the strength of your days. And when you start adjusting these habits, even just a little bit, you begin to feel it. More clarity in the morning, less tension in your chest, more ease in your step. That's not just better sleep. That's better life. So, if you've ever felt tired for no reason, woken up multiple times a night, or found yourself rushing to the bathroom in the dark, now you know there's something you can do about it. And it starts with the choices you make before your head hits the pillow. Let's keep this momentum going. We still have more to talk about. Because once you understand what your body needs at night, everything, from your heart to your memory, can begin to work better, longer, and stronger. You know, sleep isn't just about resting. It's when your body does some of its most important work. Repairing cells, balancing hormones, clearing out toxins from the brain. It all happens while you sleep. That's why the conditions you create in your bedroom matter so much, especially after 70. And there's one mistake many people make without realizing it. It sounds comforting at first, cozy even, but it can quietly put your heart, your lungs, and your sleep itself at risk. Let's talk about your bedroom temperature. Now, don't get me wrong. We all love a warm, soft blanket and a toasty room, especially on chilly nights. But here's the issue. As we age, our bodies don't regulate temperature as well as they used to. We don't sweat as efficiently. Our internal thermostat doesn't adjust quite the same. So what used to feel pleasantly warm when we were younger can now push our body into a state of overheating during the night without us even realizing it. And when your body gets too warm while you sleep, it doesn't just make you toss and turn. It can strain your heart. Your cardiovascular system has to work harder to cool you down. That might not be a problem for someone in their 30s. But for seniors, especially those with high blood pressure, heart issues, or diabetes, that extra strain can be dangerous. Have you ever woken up drenched in sweat, feeling restless or a little out of breath? That might not be a sign of poor sleep. It could be your body's way of saying, "Hey, I'm working too hard just to stay cool." You might chalk it up to aging, or maybe the room just felt a little stuffy. But these signs are often your body's quiet signals that something isn't quite right. And it's not just about how you feel. Studies have shown that sleeping in a warm room can increase the risk of dehydration during the night. Even mild dehydration makes your blood a bit thicker, and that raises the risk of blood clots, heart attacks, and strokes. All while you're supposed to be at rest. Think about it like this. Your heart deserves a break at night. But when your room is too warm, it doesn't get one. Let's imagine someone named Frank. He's 74, retired, and loves reading in bed. He keeps his thermostat at 75 degrees, piles on 2 heavy blankets, and sleeps in thick flannel pajamas. Every night he wakes up around 3 a.m., sweaty and irritated. He blames it on dreams, maybe the weather, or just being old. But the real culprit? That cozy room is actually overworking his heart, disrupting his sleep, and silently draining his energy. What Frank doesn't realize is that by simply lowering the temperature a few degrees, swapping out his heavy blankets for breathable ones, and cracking a window for fresh air, he could wake up feeling clearer, more refreshed, and with a heart that's not under pressure. Experts recommend a bedroom temperature between 60 and 67 degrees Fahrenheit. That might sound cool at first, but it's the ideal range to help your body enter and stay in deeper, more restorative stages of sleep. If it feels a bit chilly at first, layer with light cotton blankets instead of heavy synthetic ones. They trap less heat and allow your body to breathe. And wear moisture-wicking sleepwear, not thick or clingy clothes that make you sweat. Another small trick? A fan. Not just to cool the room, but to keep air circulating. Fresh, moving air can help with oxygen levels, reduce allergens, and even lower the risk of respiratory issues that might wake you up during the night. It's funny how something as simple as adjusting the thermostat can make such a difference, not just in how you sleep, but in how your heart performs, how your mind focuses the next day, and how energized you feel from the moment you open your eyes. And speaking of sleep, there's one more habit I want to talk about with you. This one's the sneakiest. It's something most people never even think twice about, but it could be silently affecting your breathing, your circulation, and your heart function every single night. I'm talking about how you sleep, your sleeping position. It seems so basic, right? You lie down, get comfortable, and drift off. But after 70, the way you position your body during sleep can have a surprising impact on your health. It's not just about comfort anymore. It's about circulation, oxygen flow, and how much stress you're putting on your organs while you rest. Let's start with a common one, sleeping flat on your back. A lot of people prefer this position. It can feel natural. But here's the problem. When you lie on your back, especially as you age, gravity causes your tongue and the soft tissues in your throat to relax and fall backward. That can partially block your airway, even if you don't realize it. You might snore. You might stop breathing for a few seconds without knowing it. This is what's known as sleep apnea, and it's more common than you think. Sleep apnea puts a huge strain on your heart. It disrupts oxygen flow, causes your blood pressure to rise during the night, and can even lead to sudden cardiac events if left untreated. It's no exaggeration to say that something as simple as your sleep position could be quietly harming you. Let me tell you about someone. Robert, 76 years old. He always slept on his back, never gave it much thought. But his wife started noticing that he'd stop breathing for short moments during the night. He'd then suddenly gasp for air and go right back to sleep. At first, he brushed it off. But over time, he started feeling exhausted during the day, foggy, and he had more frequent headaches. Turns out his sleeping position was causing undiagnosed sleep apnea, and it was wearing down his heart, night after night. Even if you don't have full-blown sleep apnea, sleeping on your back or even on your right side can still be a problem. Studies suggest that lying on the right side may add extra pressure on the heart, especially for those already dealing with cardiovascular conditions. That can make it harder for blood to circulate properly, leading to issues like swelling in the legs or fluid buildup in the lungs. So what's the safest and healthiest position? Experts recommend sleeping on your left side. This position helps the heart pump more efficiently, improves circulation, and even supports digestion. For those who deal with acid reflux or heartburn, sleeping on the left side also keeps the stomach contents from backing up into the throat because of how our anatomy is designed. It's a small change, but one with big benefits. If you're not used to sleeping on your left side, that's okay. It can take time to adjust. Try using a body pillow to support your back and keep you from rolling onto your back during the night. You can also place a small pillow between your knees to relieve pressure on your hips and spine. And if you find that your neck or shoulders ache in the morning, make sure your pillow is supportive, not too high, not too flat, and keeps your spine aligned. It's amazing how something so simple, something most people don't even think about, can be such a powerful tool for better health. Because when you sleep in a position that supports your breathing, your circulation, and your heart function, you're not just resting, you're healing. And that's what your body needs most as you age. Not stress, not strain, just space to recover, recharge, and wake up stronger. So tonight, when you get into bed, take a moment. Think about what your body really needs, not just what feels familiar. You've earned the right to rest in a way that truly supports your health. You might be thinking to yourself now, I've been doing these things for years. Eating late, sipping tea before bed, keeping the bedroom warm, sleeping on my back, and I've been just fine. And that's understandable. When we're younger, the body has a remarkable way of bouncing back, even from habits that aren't ideal. But as time goes on, the margin for error gets smaller. The things that once felt harmless can slowly wear us down, night after night, without a single symptom until it's too late. That's why awareness is so powerful. Because once you understand what's happening inside your body and how certain bedtime routines affect your heart, your breathing, your sleep, you can finally take back control. And the best part? You don't need a doctor's visit or a new prescription to get started. Just small changes, thoughtful adjustments, a little extra care for the body that's carried you through so much already. Imagine going to bed tonight, knowing you've done everything you can to support your heart, your mind, and your energy. You finished dinner earlier, had a light snack if needed, eased off the liquids a few hours before bedtime, kept the room comfortably cool, and found a sleeping position that lets your lungs and heart rest the way they should. That's not just sleep, that's restoration. And here's something even more powerful. When your nights improve, so do your days. You wake up with more clarity, fewer aches, less grogginess. You feel steadier on your feet. Your thoughts are sharper. You're not just surviving the night. You're preparing to live more fully during the day. I know change can feel uncomfortable at first. We all like our routines, and let's be honest, there's comfort in doing things the way we always have. But there's also great strength in adapting, in learning, in honoring the changing needs of your body with wisdom and grace. And you have that strength in you. There's no shame in not knowing. But now that you do, you have the power to choose differently. So tonight, I encourage you to take a moment before bed. Reflect on your evening habits. Ask yourself, am I truly giving my body the chance to rest, to recover, to thrive? You don't have to change everything at once. Just start with one thing. Maybe you move your dinner up by an hour. Maybe you switch from heavy blankets to something lighter. Maybe you sleep on your left side instead of your back, just to see how it feels. One small change, one conscious decision. That's all it takes to begin. You know, so many people wait until they've had a scare, a hospital visit, a fall, a diagnosis, before they think about their health habits. But you don't have to wait for a warning. You can take the gentle path, the kind, proactive path, the one that says, I deserve to sleep well. I deserve to feel safe in my own bed. I deserve to protect this life I've built. And if you've watched this far, I want you to know, your presence here matters. You're not alone in this. There's a whole community of people just like you who are looking for ways to live longer, healthier, more vibrant lives. People who believe that aging doesn't have to mean decline, but can be a chapter of deep wisdom, strength, and care. So I want to invite you to share. Tell me in the comments, what's one bedtime habit you're going to adjust starting tonight? Or maybe you have a tip that's worked wonders for your own sleep. Share it with someone who might need it. Your experience might be the exact encouragement someone else is waiting for. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a like. It lets us know we're creating the kind of content you care about. And if you haven't already, subscribe and hit the bell so you'll never miss another moment of learning and inspiration. We're building something here, a space where aging is not feared, but embraced. Where health isn't about perfection, but about progress. Where every night of good sleep is a quiet victory. Thank you for spending this time with me. You've taken a powerful step today simply by paying attention. That's where all meaningful change begins. Here's to deep sleep, strong hearts, steady steps, and peaceful mornings. Here's to living your best life at any age. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care of yourself. You're worth it.